Hello Twin Flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy update, coming to you all the way from Sedona, Arizona. And today for this trip I brought some other decks that we had recently, and today I decided to finish the reading with some messages in love with the Love Oracle deck that I brought as well. But before we get started, let's get a quick Oracle message for each of the twin collectives, and then we'll see what is happening with divine masculine, divine energy, divine feminine energy these days. And just as a reminder, we have big summer solstice coming up this Friday, so we'll be doing a reading dedicated to that, most likely on Wednesday. We'll see how that goes. And I might end up doing messages for each zodiac sign again. For those who are new, welcome to the channel, and of course subscribe if you enjoy my content. There's a lot more information in the description box on how to connect with me and basically other things that I do. Okay, with all that said, Divine Feminines, your message is healing energy flows through you, the Mystic Healer card. Yeah, so right now there's definitely, it's a very watery energy, very soft. And a lot of times, things that are soft and subtle in nature are the most powerful in our life. So don't disregard those shifts, those changes, those events, and even those people who bring some kind of new insights into your life. Even if it's quiet, or even if it happens long after you've already talked to them. There's definitely something right now where the information is making full circle for you, and it suddenly starts making sense, like maybe some events in the previous karmic cycle, or explaining why you are where you are today at this moment. It's like a missing piece of puzzle that is finally come to place, and that allows you to process it and heal it. Masculines, you've got discovering truth. You stand in the light of truth. It's interesting, and I just was, my attention was drawn to these two people that are standing in the background. So it's quite possible that you're learning something about other people in your life. And it could be the truth that is a little hard to swallow, but it isn't. That's why this person is actually turned away from them, right? It may end up possibly with you even walking away from these people, or realizing that they're not who you thought they were. But this is the truth that is important for you to know to continue your journey. So regardless of how it impacts other people, it's important for you to know this in your own context. And then if it happens that, some relationships fall off, it's the natural flow of life. And actually there are some directions here too, so they're picking directions for themselves, and they are not paying attention to you either. So everybody's in their vacuum, in their zone, in their energy, making some choices. So, and that's what you're asked to focus on at this time, with the information that you now know, whatever that discovery was for you. If you haven't discovered it yet, you feel like it doesn't resonate, then this is possibly something that's coming up, and the message in that case is that pay attention to smaller details, or to your inner discernment rather, of where a certain simple fact might actually mean a lot more. It may have a deeper meaning and deeper connection to the events around you than you think. Right? Like there may be completely new connections drawn between the different events that you thought were not connected at all. Okay, let's go with the main reading, and I'm going to be using the Steampunk Tarot for the main read today. And as you could see, the bottom of the deck today is the King of Wands. King of Wands in this deck is actually standing behind the chair, behind the throne, because it's a king, which is interesting, right? And it has this these symbols here with the cogwheel and everything, to me this is like a wise leader that's putting progress in, before his own interests, which is not easy to do, especially in the current day and age where everyone is so competitive and our identity is so much linked to what we do and our achievements and success that it's sometimes hard to put, like, I immediately see this in the context of a science, for instance, where the progress that you could be making is important for the humanity, and it's a lot bigger than you getting a specific award or even achieving a specific goal you had set for yourself before. And with clarifier, speaking of the goals, here once the goals have been set, and now this is the energy of waiting for the ships to come in. There is a little bit of waiting in this card as well. So something is coming to fruition, something where you planted seeds some time ago. So Divine Feminines, your energy for today is 7 of Swords, clarified by 7 of Wands, both sevens. 7 is all about stepping into the unknown. It's about going into the territory that could be intimidating, that gives you a bad taste in your mouth, but you go anyway. The difference, of course, here is it's like how truthful do you stay to yourself, how authentic do you stay as you partake this journey, right? Because you can go with the approach of like, there are certain expectations of other people for me, and that's what I'm gonna go with. And in that case, it can be pretty gloomy journey, right? And it might end up being even more stressful than you had imagined. Or you could be in your own bubble, and enjoying the process and really being able to go within and check on your own energy and what's going on and what is being brought up with this unknown territory, right? Because again, there would be moments of bliss, there would be moments of pain and fear, right? It's what we do with those choices and where we decide to stay. For the masculines, we have the Queen of Cups, clarified by the Magician. So to me, the Magician, especially in this deck, is definitely connected to the discovering the truths that we just saw. But it's interesting that for the masculines, this time it comes through the inner feminine energy, or a very intuitive energy, not something that masculines necessarily are used to, but it's something to celebrate. And I love seeing this celebratory Queen of Cups here with a toast, basically, right? It's like feelings and emotions don't need to be difficult or uncomfortable, right? It can lead you to some amazing discoveries of the truth, right? And once you have that knowledge is power, right? It really raises you up in your own eyes and helps you be more balanced and more grounded in the eye of adversity. And that's definitely something worth celebrating. The additional question for today is the Hierophant and the Strengths, 2 major arcanas. So in this case, the Hierophant is the teacher or a figure of authority, but somebody who is supposed to have the knowledge, quote unquote, who is supposed to be the wise one and pass it on to next generations, right? And that actually takes more courage than we think, right? But of course, it's also a tricky path because that can turn into more ego than anything else, especially if we get starstruck basically with newfound status, popularity, being an influencer for others, which is the term that we are very much familiar with these days. So these are the archetypes essentially, and let's see, what do the feminines need to know in this context. With the feminines, we have 6 of Wands and Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, and again, it brings us to the question of victory and success. But it's like, what is the price that you're paying, right? And it's in terms of the spiritual path, it makes a lot more sense to pace yourself and really pay attention to each step of the journey rather than try to chase specific outcomes and specific intentions, you know, specific maybe even wishes coming true, right? It's more about what do you pick up at each point of the journey. And speaking of courage, do you display courage, or it's more of an ego that's trying to get what it wants, or to try to get some kind of validation externally by achieving a certain goal, right? Asking that question is important as you make decisions these days. For masculine, we have Knight of Wands, clarified by the moon. Yeah, so this is quite an emotional and also passionate energy. It has a flair of youth and vivacity, and it's a little playful, but also easily, it's kind of vulnerable, but in a way that it's fragile, you know, that it's easily set off center. So again, that's where it's important to, in the questions of authority and courage, it's important to bring yourself to the grounded state first and foremost. Not to mention that if you are in a position of authority, there will always be some difficult questions, whether it's ethical or legal or deep within you, that you're going to be facing and you may need to have answers to. So it's up to you how you, how you manufacture, if you will, your sense of authority, of wisdom, and being an influencer for others, right? But more than anything, it is about keeping that passion and the feeling alive. A good question would also be of which feeling is driving me into this direction, or which emotion? Because again, a lot more times than we know, it is about feelings and emotions. Those are the big drivers. Or the other way to interpret it is that we want certain things, right? Which is where that success and accomplishment is, because it's supposed to make us feel a certain way more than anything else. And you can think of any of your goals that you have, right? The underlying motivation is that it's going to make you feel a certain way. So there's a clear connection there. Last but not least, let's get a message in love for divine feminines watching. Whether you're in a relationship or not, this is gonna give some food for thought and hopefully some inspiration for you in the matters of love. So for the feminines, we have Not Today, I Like You, and the Snake. Wow. Yeah, so if somebody is trying to love bomb you, or tell you some sweet nothings in your ear, it's something to consider to pause with, or maybe not to make any big decisions on at this moment, because it's possible that that there's a reason why you may not be making the best decision for yourself at this point. So it doesn't mean necessarily send that person away, but give yourself a little more time, or sleep on it, or get more in touch with your intuitive feeling about this situation and this person, whoever they are. For those of you who are not connected to anyone specific, this is an opportunity to look into any kind of past story that's still making you angry or upset, connected to love relationship. Because a lot of times we end up embracing guilt and shame connected to that, and anger is another side of it, basically. But this is telling me that there was something about that person that made it end up this way. So it's not all on you, even if you were the one who got angry in a situation and ended it, right? So this is an opportunity to look at it from a different angle and go a little bit deeper into that truth and into the understanding of what actually happened, or why it didn't work out, depending on where you were doubting or you have questions about this. What do we have for the masculines today? Wedding rings, clarified by self-indulgence and kisses. Very interesting. You know what? Yeah, I mean, of course, the wedding rings are about commitment, promise, long-term partnership. But I love this that there's self-indulgence and kisses here, because self-indulgence is actually telling you about healing and about doing shadow work, about focusing on yourself from different aspects, both showing yourself appreciation and looking maybe closer at some inner work that needs to be done, and kisses here. So it's like, you know, are you, before you're ready to be in a commitment with another person, how committed are you to yourself and your own well-being, your emotional state, your health, your wellness, everything? How much of your time are you usually dedicating to those things, right? And energy. Are you a priority in your own life, or it's all about looking at somebody else trying to complete you, or you wanting them to complete you but missing some important points here? So again, something to think about. And that sounds a little selfish, but if anything, is going to prepare you more for a true soul connection and being able to create that worthy partnership in your life that could very well end up with the wedding rings. And for those of you who already are married, the take on this is more that, you know, maybe you've lost your place in this marriage, in this life, you know, and this is an opportunity for you to show appreciation to yourself and how much you are contributing to this family and how much you're worth just as you are, even without doing those things, right? Because it's another way that oftentimes we overcompensate if we feel in some shape of form that we're not enough, or there is an issue with self-worth, that sometimes we overcompensate by going out of our way to, you know, to take care of our partner, to make it, you know, to give it our all, basically. But it's important not to neglect yourself on this journey. And for some of you, that might be the truth that you're discovering right now. It's quite possible. But anyway, on that note, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I hope this was useful for you. If it was, don't forget to like the video and of course subscribe to my channel. And until next time,